Let's throw the Shambler to the freaking trees. I think I know how to beat it.
What the hell was that? This dagger looks different.
Breaking it. Toss them over here.
You sure you won't be needing that hand? You're losing it, Detective. At this rate, you're right. The bottle will get you before I do.
You didn't see anything.
I saw you within an inch of putting a dagger through your forearm. Did I miss something more interesting?
Sanders was right. This painting is cursed.
What are you talking about?
I was attacked by a creature. I pushed it back, I think.
I think so too.
You knew. You knew about the beast.
What are you talking about? Think yourself lucky that I saved your hand, even if it was to save my goods.
You mean me?
Don't flatter yourself, sweetheart. I'm talking about the contents of this gallery. And by the way, where do you think you're going with that dagger?
It saved my life. It's an extraordinary dagger.
You should talk to Algernon Drake. He's an antique dealer here on Darkwater. He'll tell you all about it. From what I saw in the ledgers, it was him who sold it to Sanders.
You give me this information free of
It's
charge?
not your style to give me free information like that.
Take it as payment for being my canary. A simple trade-off. Now go see your antique seller. I still got things to settle with Irene.
Shambler turned out to be more than an artwork painted by Sarah Hawkins, as a huge creature came out of the painting to attack Pierce. After a hard fight, the detective managed to send it back into the painting. He later discovered that the dagger he used to repel the creature had been sold to Sanders by a man named Algernon Drake, owner of the nameless bookstore. Pierce decides to pay the library a visit. Yeah, that's where we go. Bothwell.
Where's the bookseller? Freud's The Interpretation of Dreams. It's the work that laid the foundations of psychoanalysis at the beginning of this century. Another volume of the Reverend's wife's diary. What happened here? Let's start over. Where did they break in from? Blood. Seems like amateur work. Someone tall left this footprint. A man, probably. This burglar seems to be rather clumsy. What killed all these animals? What happened that made the burglar? What sort of thief leaves his tools at the crime scene? What the... Charles Hawkins? Looks like the symbol rejected Hawkins. What sort of power did Sarah Hawkins' painting possess? Sarah Hawkins helped hide something in this safe.
Oh. This is cool.
Drake put in a great deal of effort to hide whatever is in here. Everything is linked to the Sarah Hawkins case. Drake left instructions on how to find the combination of his safe.
Page hidden here, it is possible to read. Somebody finds these memoirs, there's more to be no doubt that I am in serious trouble. My last and only hope is that my body and bones are still in the plane of reality, in order that they to be recovered and burned. The funeral urn must be to my dearest mother, yada yada yada. Okay.
What link did he find between Charles Hawkins and an old amulet?
The elder sign, that's what it is.
Is everyone on this island taking sleeping pills?
The elder sign. Level up, please. Wow, look at all this.
Arkham editions. Never heard of him. How many volumes are there in this collection? Another volume by Arkham Editions. Arkham Editions.
Huh.
Never heard of him. How many volumes are there in this collection? Another volume by Arkham Editions. Arkham Editions.
The key
Never heard of him.
Good one. Book of Spells, supposedly written for the legendary King Solomon, involves various rituals of invocation of the rituals of curse.
How many volumes are there in this collection?
Even a few years back, it was possible for the single practitioner to know all the medical knowledge of this time. This book, which concludes the series, shows that many now are virtually impossible. Alright.
Cylinders that Drake tried to hide. I should perhaps listen to them. What does this strange book contain? This book contains unholy knowledge.
This collection catalogs and classifies creatures I have never heard of. Divinities from the stars, creatures capable of traveling from one dimension to another. It presents itself as a reference of work to the bestiary of the myth, without giving on the mythology to which it refers. Its pages are covered with phantasmagorial illustrations. There's that damn Shambler. And there's more to my sanity gone. Need the Shambler. Shit, my sanity's pretty hit.
The Book of Zion is the foundational work behind Helena Blavatsky's theosophical movement. Its followers place truth on the same footing as a religion. Another volume by Arkham Editions.
Okay. Arkham Editions has to be the clue. Oh wait, photograph.
I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods. Let those of us who are still standing protect our White Queen from their dark soldiers. I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows. We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny. And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets. Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham Editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seemed particularly relevant to my research. I never tire of browsing through them.
The Queen has little protection.
Yeah, the Queen is screwed.
The Queen has little protection.
Alright.
So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message.
First, Nostradamus, translated by E. Leone.
What did Drake say about this collection? Drake talked about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message.
18 years old. Alright, that's where the clues are. For the safe. Hear the whispers? Let's get the mark out. 3 numbers. 0 through 9. I can do this. It's got to do with those books. I know it. It's got to do with these books right here. Oh, what are you?
What did Drake say about this collection?
Volume 3.
Drake talked about a
Volume
particular
1.
volume. So these are the volumes that
Volume
Drake
2.
was talking about in his message. What did Drake say about this collection?
Volume 7.
Drake talked about a particular volume.
Volume 9.
So these are the volumes that Drake was talking
Volume
about in
4.
his message. What did Drake say about this collection?
Volume 8.
Drake talked about a particular
Volume
volume.
6. Yeah, I know I gotta open the save. Clues, come on. Relay of L. Elder sign. Shit.
So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his
That
message.
should not be.
What did Drake say about this collection?
Linda.
Drake talked about a particular volume.
Drake did talk about a particular volume. Let's find out what volume that was. Somebody finds his memoirs, no doubt. Yada yada yada. Following message of capital importance. Never reads these lines. Demonstrates acuity as a sharp mind can hope to gain access to my most precious possession. It lies within my safe. Okay. Clues. Combination. 3 cylinders. Each hidden where life and study combine into the Greek world. Okay. Each cylinder is numbered, even if it is celebrated in others as order of pleasure of reason, but disorder is the delight of imagination indeed. Each cylinder is numbered, even if as a cylinder. By chance a person, or I should say a genius, were to match my intellect and find the combination of my safe, I would ask that it deliver them. Yeah, well, it's in that paragraph right there. Right there. Order is the pleasure of reason, but disorder is the delay of my imagination, or of the imagination. Okay.
So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message. What did Drake say about this collection? Drake talked about a particular volume.
Shut up, guy. Shut
So
up.
these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message. What did Drake say about this collection?
It's volumes. Tricky. Good puzzle. Good puzzle. Each cylinder is numbered. Order is the pleasure of reason, but disorder is the delight of the imagination.
Drake talked about a particular volume.
Reason to imagination. Okay. If anyone knows in the comments,
So
please
these are
tell
the
me.
volumes that Drake was talking about in his message. What did Drake say about this collection? Drake talked about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message.
Dude, why does it gotta keep repeating that every single time? It's throwing me off.
What did Drake say about this collection?
Seven. Tricky, tricky, tricky. Good puzzle. Difficult puzzle. Because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 options. Fuck, I can get this. I can get this.
Drake talked about a particular volume.
3. Phonograph.
And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets. And these red drops, I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods. Let those of us who are still standing protect our White Queen from their dark soldiers. I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows. We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny. Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seemed particularly relevant to my research. I never tire of browsing through them. Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seemed particularly relevant to my research. I never tire of browsing through them. Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seemed particularly relevant to my research.
Volume 9,
I never tire of browsing through them.
numbers.
And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets. I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods. Let those of us who are still standing protect our White Queen from their dark soldiers. I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows. We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny.
So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message. What did Drake say about this collection?
No.
Drake talked about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message.
So I know 9 is one of them.
What did Drake say about this collection? Drake talked about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that Drake... What did Drake say about this? Drake talked about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message.
Yeah, okay. 3.
What did Drake say about this collection? Drake talked about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that Drake was talking. What did Drake say about this collection? Drake talked about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message. What did Drake say about this collection?
What? No no way. Wow. I feel like an idiot now.
This man's condition is deteriorating.
What?
What says Dr. Fuller? It's his patient, after all.
He's busy with Captain Fitzroy. He specifically asked us not to bother him when that's the case.
Oh, of course. I'll see what I can do. Mr. Blake, can you hear me? I'm Dr. Colden. We'll take care of you.
There's nothing we can do. I tried talking to him. He's catatonic.
Very well. I'll examine him. His skin shows abnormal loss of color and seems dried out. He's totally dehydrated. His fingertips and toes seem to feature a slight ring under the skin, tender at the touch, slightly sticky. 30-year-old subject, severe hypothermia, erythematous papules around the eyes and eardrums, necrosed palpebral tissue. Lord, this smell. Severe malnutrition. Swollen abdomen with traces of petechia. Doesn't seem like an edema. Slight protuberances seem to indicate the presence of a foreign body.
So, Doctor, an opinion?
I'm not sure I have the necessary knowledge to treat this man.
Don't say that. You're our most worthy doctor after Dr. Fuller.
Some of his symptoms are beyond my comprehension.
What did you find?
Did you examine his abdomen? It would seem there's something inside.
He hasn't eaten in days. Are you certain it's not an edema?
No. Can't you recognize an edema? Pushing with your finger won't leave a trace. And look at these bumps.
It's not like he could be pregnant.
Whatever it is, this man has something inside him that shouldn't be there. We should operate on him at once.
Dr. Fuller said not to worry, that the edema would go away by itself.
You know, I'm not sure Dr. Fuller is telling the truth. I see signs of hypodermoclysis, but he's still dehydrated. When was his last IV?
He's constantly under perfusion. I've even gone beyond the recommended dose to no avail. And you won't believe me, but when we bathed him earlier...
He seemed to feel better?
Yes. Like he needs an aquarium, not a perfusion. But that doesn't explain his condition.
In spite of the muscle contractions, his arms seem limp.
Yes. They can't have decalcified, not at this rate.
And yet, if there is a bone in this arm, it's softer than that of a newborn baby. What about his cranium?
It's soft at the touch. It does seem like the skull of a baby.
Look at these sticky rings growing at his fingertips. What can be happening?
I'm sure you'll find an explanation. You have to.
I almost don't believe it myself, but these symptoms are not those usually associated with the human species.
What do you mean? Don't tell me you believe in extraterrestrials.
No. This poor man is from our world, all right. But his body is undergoing unnatural mutations. And this transformation is killing him. His body simply can't cope.
Where could he have gotten such an infection?
I pray that it's not here.
Here comes Fuller.
Dr. Colden, may I know what you're doing to my patient?
What I'm doing? How about what you've done to him?
Let us calm down, my dear Marie. I don't appreciate your tone, nor your insinuations. I've done to him what I do to all my patients. Provide him with the best available care.
Oh,
your imagination
up.
is without limit. It's your homemade drug again, is it not? Those people are not your guinea pigs.
There, there. What have you seen to put you in such a state?
You turning him into a monster.
I've seen suction cups on his fingers, his falling body temperature, his dehydration. Had I only read the report, You know what I would have concluded, Doctor.
Do I? Tell me anyway. I'm curious.
He's no longer human. These are the attributes of an animal.
Fascinating. An animal, you say? Could you be more precise? Cephalopod, perhaps?
This amuses you.
Your reaction does. I know your thirst for knowledge, Doctor. It's your innocent worries for this man that have you overreacting.
For this man, and the others whose medical files you've been hiding.
I have to protect my discovery. These people owe me their life, but the world isn't ready yet. It will be, in time.
I will not let you do this.
You disappoint me, Marie, but I still have hope you'll one day share my point of view. In the meantime, take care of your own patients and try not to forget who you're dealing with.
Was that a threat? What did
It
he mean?
sound like it.
It was a warning. Dr. Fuller is this institution's founder, and one of our profession's most influential voices. My word is of no weight against his. If I continue to protest, I will only ruin my reputation and career.
It's scandalous. Can't we do anything? Is there no evidence of his crimes?
Oh, that evidence exists. I'm sure of it. I need to find the missing medical files.
And where would you find those? In his office? What if you get caught?
I'd rather not think about that. I'm counting on your discretion.
Of course, Doctor. You can count on me. I'll keep mum.
Okay. I'm Marie now, aren't I? Not Pierce. Yeah. Cute.
No, you're pulling my leg. I'm not joking. I saw the
How am I seeing
schedule.
this?
She's alone in the bathroom again. And she still says nothing to that old witch, Donovan.
Oh, listen to the way you talk, you naughty girl. And the answer is no. You can imagine that she doesn't dare say a thing. That silly goose lets herself be trodden on.
Oh well, at least we won't have to clean for a while.
And just wait and see the next time the water's cut off. It's a real show.
Watch out for the water, Doctor.
Gentlemen, may I help you?
We're waiting on news regarding our mother, Maureen Harding. She came in with a kidney problem, but we haven't heard anything since.
I'm sorry. Dr. Fuller is a very busy man.
Well, is there anyone else who can tell us what's going on?
She's our only family, you know? And we can't even see her medical file.
Examiner myself.
Don't worry. I'm aware our institution is not always welcoming. But your mother is in good hands. I'll tend to her myself, and keep you informed at once. Would that suit you?
Well, that sure sounds great to us, Doctor. Thank you.
But those are just words, so we're not budging.
Very well. At least I'll know where to find you.
Doctor, please. My chest. Oh.
His perfusion of a semi-physiological solution doesn't seem to work. He's undergoing a ventricular fibrillation. Nurse? Deborah, come and help me, please. His potassium level is too high. Replace it with 2% glucose solution with insulin, calcium, and sodium bicarbonate.
I'll tend to it right away.
Thank you. He's in your hands.
Huh.
Dr. Colden?
Man, makes me want to really reconsider my choices on
He broke his
development.
back in an accident down by the docks.
Ah, the whaling station. What's wrong with me?
What are you talking about?
Doctor, is that you?
Yes, it's Dr. Colden. Tell me what happened.
It's the old whaling station. See?
The one that hides the smuggling business.
Oh no, not them. They don't go on that side of the island. Everyone in his place. The captain on one side, Cat on the other, and me. Well, I've been to the whaling station, I have.
What did you see there?
Nothing. Nothing at all. The floor was all rotten and I fell straight through.
And that's how you broke your back?
Perhaps. No idea. Passed out.
Why did nobody tell me about her admission?
Let's go to the state in which Irene Sanders entered the Riverdale Institute, as well as the treatments administered to her. Fuller added a handwritten note. He recommends to take her down to the psychiatric wing in order to provide her with the quiet and rest that she needs. Irene Sanders.
Mrs. Sanders?
What? Yeah, why is she here? This is fucked up.
What is the boiler room key doing here? The key to the boiler room. Not where I expected to find it. Another insomniac. I should find the cause for such a widespread trouble.
Dr. Colden, here you are at last. This patient was again brought up to the psychiatric wing. We've been following the treatment you prescribed, but the dysgeusia persists and he's lost a great deal of weight. We haven't been able to move him. The stress makes him hyperallergic.
Sir, I am going to examine you. Do you understand? Inject him with a dose of pentobarbital, intramuscular, so that I can conduct the clinical examination. He bit his lips so much, they're still bleeding. White froth, evidently because of such drooling. His binds left bloody wounds.
So, Doctor, what should we do with this patient?
Those basement brutes tied him up too tight, and now he's hurt.
I keep trying to heal his wounds, but he reopens them.
Do you have a diploma as a nurse?
Excuse me?
So take care of this man.
This girl's a badass.
It's a quiet little town. Days go by, steady as ever. I wanted more for myself, but...
What?
It's a quiet little town. Days go by, steady as ever. I wanted more for myself, but...
I don't get why they have us waiting so long. Almost no patients here.
Ethan.
Marie,
What are you doing here?
I'm waiting for my medication, of course. Why?
Tell me your symptoms.
I have headaches. And I can't sleep.
Do you suffer from insomnia?
No. Look, I don't want you to laugh at me.
Ethan, if you don't trust me, then who?
I have nightmares. They keep me awake every night. It seems stupid, I know, but they're terrible.
Actually, you're not the only one.
No. No one has ever seen the things I see. It's like I'm turning mad.
So many people have this affliction. It's like an epidemic.
Do you think it might be related to Fuller's work?
I don't know yet, but I will figure all this out.
Yeah?
Everyone in Darkwater is suffering from nightmares.
Really?
We don't have any medication left.
Oh. There's no excuse then. I should let you work.
Take care, Ethan.
You too, Marie.
Dr. Colden, do you want something? I think that you're needed in Block B, Doctor.
Where did my fiancée go? I hope those nutcases will stop burdening her with work.
Sorry, but nobody can take anything until I finish the inventory.
This man, Edward Pierce, his file is incomplete. What did Fuller do to him?
Dr. Colden, we need you at once in Dormitory B.
What is the problem?
Mr. Evans seems to be having trouble with his IV.
I've done an exam. Deborah is looking after him.
And the family of Mrs. Harding is asking to see her medical file.
I'll never understand why it's so hard to see patients' files around here.
Rules are rules. See, with Dr. Fuller, he's in charge. Anyhow, they're still waiting, and I don't think they'll leave until they get what they want.
Understood. Anything else?
As a matter of fact, yes. A man has been brought up from the basement.
I saw him, yes. It's always the same thing. They bring them up, without any explanation, with a multitude of self-inflicted injuries. We take care of the wounds, and then they leave. Each time, I feel like I'm sending them back to hell.
Their affliction is not our responsibility. You cannot save everybody, Doctor.
Dr. Fuller always keeps his key with him. In theory, this is where we hang the key to the boiler room.
I have little time for you, Doctor. You'll find out that it's not only the doctors who have things to do. Wait a minute. Where do you think you're going? Dr. Colden.
Mrs. Donovan.
Nobody goes into Dr. Fuller's office. But rest assured, I'll tell him you came by.
That won't be necessary. Thank you.
I will tell him, nonetheless. Wait a minute. Where do you think you're going?
Come on.
Dr. Colden.
Mrs. Donovan.
Nobody goes into But rest assured,
That won't be...
I will tell him.
An unknown medicine. Judging by the other ones, it causes heavy side effects. Hay fever. What's he doing here?
Alright. So...
Everybody says it. She's a witch, an old hag. I didn't make this up. And I'm the one who pays. What a pest. It's so unfair.
Elizabeth? You all right? Why is this room in such a state?
Because, as always, I'm cleaning it by myself. And the water was once again shut off this morning. I had to bother Mrs. Donovan again, giving her a new excuse to belittle me.
Do you really need Mrs. Donovan to open a valve? Why not ask the janitor?
I can't make these decisions without her approval. Imagine if there were a leak. Anyhow, the boiler room is locked half the time. So every time the water gets shut off, I have to go and endure her reproach until she's settled the problem.
I see. Courage, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, so I gotta distract Donovan and cut off the water. Tricky.
Wait a minute. Where do you think you're going? Dr. Colden.
Nowhere.
Mrs. Donovan.
Nobody goes into... But rest assured,
That won't...
I will tell...
You've already told me 2 or 3 times already. Go away.
The operating room is never accessible after an operation.
Please, the few into...
Don't go falling over. That would be stupid.
How are we going to distract you, Lomas lady? If you guys see something
The
that
answers
I'm missing,
must be hidden in Fuller's office.
please say something.
Dr. Colden?
I'll just sleep a bit more.
Ah, so there's Harding. She's still sleeping. Given her file, a nephrectomy would have been inevitable. But Fuller was able to save her kidney. The key to the boiler room. All I have to do is shut off the water and hope Donovan takes the bait. Intoxication from breathing organic vapors. Patients and hospital personnel eat the same food. We've been waiting to be restocked for weeks.
Everybody says it. She's a witch, an old hag. I didn't make this up. And I'm the one who pays. What, everything all right, Dr. Colden?
All is well, Elizabeth, thank you. I was making sure the water wasn't cut off yet again.
Thank God, no. The water's running. I have no desire to call Donovan for help.
Come now. Don't let that witch sap your morale.
I'm trying, Doctor. I'm trying. It's just that sometimes I imagine she shuts down the water herself, just for the pleasure of harassing me.
Her time is much too precious for these kind of petty games. Courage, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Doctor.
The answers must be hidden in Fuller's office.
Everybody says it. She's a witch, an old hag. I didn't make this up. And I'm the one who pays. What a pest. It's so unfair.
can't shut this with my bare hands. I need a tool.
Come on.
The operating room is never accessible after an operation.
There it is.
I feel guilty about Elizabeth, but I need the diversion. It's temperamental, if I understand correctly.
Dr. Colden, might there be a problem with the water?
I was about to mention it. It seems it's been cut off yet again.
I can't take this, Marie. I feel I'm gonna burst.
It's not your fault if we have defective plumbing.
And yet, I'm the one who gets punished because I'm gonna have to square off with that annoying old witch. Courage, Elizabeth. Here we go. And hold your tongue this time. Mrs. Donovan?
I'm busy. Elizabeth, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
At last. The missing files must be hidden here. The Stendhal syndrome. Of course. This is where Fuller found his diagnosis for Francis Sanders.
Is that it? No. Can't be.
Something is wrong with these masts. It's some sort of puzzle. I've unlocked something. Patient files. I was right.
Okay. That's too easy.
I should go another way.
Gotta listen to him.
Conclusions? Session number 17. Patient? Sarah Hawkins. The patient appears to have
This finger belonged to a woman. Why keep it here?
Calls the mythos. It goes without saying that these peculiar delusions are the price that comes with her exceptional gifts.
Why is Ethan on medication? Why does Dr. Fuller write psychological reports about Sarah Hawkins?
At first, I presumed that her blood was the key. But I found nothing to explain Mrs. Hawkins' abilities.
The poor souls downstairs are not Fuller's only subjects.
Then James came, irate that Charles was keeping secrets from him. I presume that he would try to break into the basement sooner or later. I am prepared.
Hawkins, Fitzroy, and Fuller. What is the connection between these three?
It is fortunate that I had the presence of mind to set the morgue in the basement. When all the fuss about the Hawkins incident finally comes to an end, I will dispose of her belongings. In the meantime, they must remain hidden in plain sight.
Of course. Sarah Hawkins is the connection. I must go back to the basement. I should go another way.
Ah, now that's the Marie that I know. I knew I could count on your scientific curiosity. It's time to show you what you were so eager to discover.
Did I fuck up? I think I fucked up.
If you're gonna shoot me, at least have the decency to look me in the eyes.
Turn around. Slowly. Talk, filthy thief! Or I swear I'll shoot!
Take a minute to look around. Everything points to Charles Hawkins.
He's dead.
No. He was here for a very specific item.
Oh, no.
The book. Why was it in the safe?
Have you read it?
Answer the question.
How foolish of you. Now you won't be able to escape his will. What did it show you?
She went into Fuller's office. She was looking for Sarah Hawkins' corpse.
Sarah Hawkins, you say? Let's go back to the start, shall we? Whose life did the Necronomicon choose to show you?
Dr. Colden. She was at the Riverside Institute. She's in danger. I have to go.
Wait! No one knows the occult better than me. You might need my help.
All right. All right. I might need you after all.
Perfect. Let's meet later at the Hawkins mansion. Now go! Rescue the doctor!
Thank you, Drake.
Book projected Pierce into the body of Dr. Colden. The detective watched helplessly as Bradley failed to carry out her inquiry. Confronted with the experience of Fuller, she got into his office and discovered that the director of Riverside Institute was hiding information on, if not the body of, Sarah Hawkins. But she was discovered by Fuller. Pierce must save her before it's too late. And with that, my friends, I think we're going to end the stream. Let's wait and see what happens after it loads, though.
I pray that Colden is really here. And alive.
Yep. That's it. Thanks, guys.